Well, good afternoon and welcome to Twerton Park for this Sunday fixture of Bath City versus Chippenham, first of the new year and the 32nd meeting between these two clubs. My name's Andrew Kerslake, and alongside me I have the inestimable skills of Joe Acklam. Good afternoon, Joe.
Good afternoon, Andrew. Very excited to be back at Bath City.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this one, aren't we?
We are. Bath City versus Chippenham, as we know, the A4 derby. It's usually a pretty exciting game, and obviously just a week ago, last Sunday in fact, Bath City got the better of Chippenham Town, so hopefully they can continue that into this new year.
The conditions here, we had a drop of sunshine about half an hour ago. The rain's now back. It's a bit blustery out there. You expect the pitch, I mean, probably for the first time this season, we've had quite a bit of rain. The ball should zip around a little bit, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it'll be a lot slicker, so maybe we could see a bit more of a quick passing game than maybe you would have seen before. But it also could be a little bit heavy, because I think maybe the rain's gone a bit over what you might hope. So obviously these things can go either way. We'll see how it goes. If the pitch is heavy, and Chippenham have already got tired legs, again, that you would think that would play into Bath City's hands a little bit better than it does the Bluebirds.
Yeah, I think almost certainly. 4-1 probably flattered City. I think most people say they deserve to win. 4 was a very good margin. And when you listen to the manager after the game, Mike Cole, you could sense the hurt in him. You feel that it won't quite be the same this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're about right. I haven't seen the game, but I've seen the goals and stuff back. I think, and there's definitely that element that Chippenham were just trying to push towards the end and perhaps overcommit a little bit, and then Cody Cook, as good as he's been this season, was able to take advantage of that. So, you wouldn't necessarily expect to see Bath City win by a comfortable margin again, because again, something else Jerry Gill talked about, the away form of Chippenham Town is so strong for whatever reason. Only lost the 1 so far this season, so it'll be a different game, but there are usually goals on these occasions.
City have a very good record, don't they, against Chippenham? It's Bath were almost one of Chippenham's bogey teams. I was here the last time that Chippenham won that 5-2 match back in 2017, where Gary Hours in the following programme had to put in an apology for such a poor performance from his side. But since then, City have done pretty well, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. This is a team they like to play. There's some really special moments. I can remember a Tom Smith free kick at Harden Hewish Park a few years back. And they clearly get up for these games. Jerry Gill's very good at harnessing that sort of passion within his players, and they play these types of games in the right way. Although I would add that generally speaking, Bath City have probably been the better side than Chippenham in those games, so in terms of overall quality of how well the team is playing at the time. So, but bogey team is probably doing a disservice to how strong Bath City have been in those games.
And there's nothing better than a local derby, though, to get the blood pumping, the adrenaline going, whether you're a player or supporter. The team's just out on the pitch now. I'm going to hand over to Joe to go through the two lineups, but just before I do so, just a reminder that there is a minute's silence before kick-off today, and that minute's silence in memory of everybody who has died from COVID over this year. Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. And the two teams this afternoon, Bath City line up with Ryan Clark as the captain in goal. We're not actually totally certain what the system will be, so we'll go in number order. We've got Joe Rains, Zach Delaney, Jack Batten, Callum Wood, Alex Fletcher, Omar Holness, Cody Cook, Tom Smith, Eddie Jones and Mo Torre, with substitutes Elliot Freer returning after a few bouts of different afflictions keeping him out the side. Will Fuller, Dan Ball, who returns from Swindon Supermarine to make the bench this afternoon, Tom Richards and the youngster Dylan Cadgy, who was on loan at just 18 years old. Chippenham Town likely to be in their 4-4-2 diamond system with Will Henry, the former Roman, between the sticks, Spencer Hamilton, Kieran Parcell, Will Richards and Ethan Hill as a back four, and then a midfield consisting of Luke Roos, Ricky Aguiar, Joe Hanks, Callum Gunner playing behind Harry Parsons and Alefe Santos, with their substitutes being Will King, Abdul Razak Tajuddin, Harrison Lee, Olu Lawal and Kyle Cook. As was again referencing Jerry Gill's interview, Bath City are in their away kit strip this afternoon in support of the Shelter campaign, which is something many clubs have been trying to do over this festive period, and Bath City supporting that as well. We will now be going for the minute silence around everyone who passed during 2021.
We ask you now to all please stand if you are able, and on the referee's whistle, please observe a 1 minute silence in memory of those no longer with us.
That silence impeccably observed around Twerton Park in this very substantial crowd. Should just mention we also have with us this afternoon Chris Chappell, and halfway through the first half there will be a very clever switch of headsets there between Joe and Chris will be taking the second half of the first period commentary. So I'll hand over to Joe.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and we are just seconds away from being underway in the A4 derby. Chippenham Town will have kick-off kicking towards the Bath end in their trip strip of all blue, whereas Bath, as mentioned, in their away kit this afternoon with red and dark blue stripes, red shorts and red socks. They are kicking towards the Bristol end as Ricky Aguiar gets us underway here at Twerton Park. Quickly played forwards in towards Parsons. His touchback isn't the best, and it's launched long by Omar Holness. Toure gets the ball, trying to turn out to Jones on the right-hand side, halfway inside the Chippenham Town half, but it's a bit of a hospital pass by Toure, and Buffs have given it away here. Hanks trying to come down the side. Here's Santos, plays inside Harry Parsons with a little bit of space on the edge of the area, shoots early, and it's not a bad effort. Had to be tipped away by Ryan Clark down to his left-hand side, and it will be a corner to Chippenham Town. Yeah,
Toure giving the ball away there in midfield, and City very nearly punished there. Clark at full stretch to push that ball around his left-hand post.
Will be Alefe Santos to take the corner, who is himself from Sao Paulo. Don't see too many of players from that place coming and playing at Twerton Park. Moved to England aged 12. His corner isn't the best. Santos trying to deliver it back into the middle again, and it came up, and I think it was a handball by Will Richards in there. Bath City players trying to complain to the referee that it was a deliberate one, a Maradona-esque situation, but didn't quite find the dip on his little punch.
Yeah, I think it was, because straight away Clark shot off his line to indicate the handball. He came for it, Clark, didn't quite get there. And Jerry Gill, arms outstretched as if, hey, could you not see that, referee?
But he has done well to win that ball back. Plays it back up the line to Batten inside Holness. A nice little quick switch there from Bath City. Callum Wood switches it out to Delaney. He can run down the line now. He's got space in front of him. Quite a narrow Chippenham formation inside to Tom Smith. He's got Toure outside him. Mo Toure trying to stand up against Spencer Hamilton. Tries to go down the line onto the outside. He's played into the middle, and it came into Fletcher inside the 6-yard box. He couldn't divert it goalwards. And he's wide, but that's a huge chance for Bath City.
That was a great attempt there. Good work by Toure away on that left-hand side to get that ball across. And City playing it from the right-hand side across to the left and doing really well with their first chance on goal.
Headed away by Jones once again. He finds Toure in good space in the middle of the field. Inside the centre circle now, drops it out. The overlap from Zach Delaney. Delaney once again darting forwards, trying to use the space on that left flank. Plays into Cody Cook. He's looking for a bit of space, plays it inside. Joe Raines takes a touch, trying to run straight through the middle of the Chippenham formation, but it's flicked away. Jones throws it up the line to Fletcher. Fletcher has Hill for company, directs it back to his fullback, crosses in at the near post, it's not dealt with, comes back to Tom Smith, and he just sort of jumps over the ball. It comes off the underside of his foot, and it had no power, and Will Henry gets back up and grabs it.
Chippenham a little fortunate there, the ball going right across goal. Defender just misinterpreted the bounce of it. Smith couldn't really get it under control.
Chippenham with a throw in. Once again, Parsons getting the ball and turning and being a bit of a danger for Chippenham Town. There's Hanks, it's well intercepted. Great work from Fletcher to win the ball back. Here's Cook in the centre circle now, trying to turn out and give it off to Holness on the right-hand side. Outside once again to Fletcher. Fletcher delivers it low into the middle. This time it is cleared by Parcell. Out for a Bath City throw-in. The two sort of side stands which are covered are absolutely packed to the rafters. And it's played out here. Omar Holness with a bit of space in the centre of the half, trying to play it outside for Eddie Jones, who had a lot of ground to make up and does so. Gets there ahead of Hill, plays it back into the middle. Cody Cook tries to sort of flick the ball with the back of his head heel. I think that was, in fact, was Joe Rains, but it came to Will Henry. Didn't get the power to really catch him off guard too much.
Yeah, Rains kind of got the ball a bit stuck under his foot, didn't he? Couldn't really release it.
Hill plays it in towards Parsons, who sort of slips as the ball came towards him, and then it's a really good challenge by Wood to get the ball away from Santos. But it's out to the far side now. Gunner trying to whip it into the middle, and it comes away. It's spilled by Ryan Clark, but behind Aguiar, who I think was offside anyway, and it will be a free kick to Bath City. Two men standing over the ball. Bath City are going to bring a wall in. It's the pair of Fletcher and Delaney, who are a little bit too close to the ball for referees' liking. Aguiar has won the game of rock, paper, scissors and will take this free kick for Chippenham. Did, of course, score one in the reverse fixture last Sunday. Aguiar trying to play that ball. It's a good ball towards the back post, in towards Parcell, but he doesn't quite get beyond Holness. But it will be a goal kick to Bath City.
Yeah, it's a bit of a sort of lazy pass, really, but Chippenham have it on the right-hand side. Aguiar's ball across the middle is just cut out in time by Batten, and then Ryan Clark has a chance to dive on top of the ball. But he's got a new ball, he's thrown it in, and it's Bath City clearing the ball away. Only as far there as Aguiar with a shot, trying to bend it with his right foot, but it's too close and too central to Ryan Clark in the Romans' goal.
Yeah, Clark didn't have to move for that one.
Yeah, Clark will be 40 later this year, born in 1982. And it's out on the left-hand side. Torre taking on Hamilton, thinks across it towards the far post, and it's headed away by Luke Russ, the former Bristol Ravens midfielder. Run back by Jones. Low cross, deflected up into the air, and there's Henry out trying to punch it. And it's only as far as Rains on the edge of the D. Bath on the attack here, and it's a deflected shot, goes up into the air. Fletcher tries to bring it down. Rains has another go, shot blocked. And then Aguiar turns well and knocks it out to the left-hand side. Santos, who's just peeled away and trying to link up with Parsons.
Yeah, that little movement, you just feel, brought the crowd to life a little bit. The ball pinging around the penalty area. Hard to tell exactly what was happening, and Cody Cook clearly being held there, the ball being played downfield. It's going to be a City free kick about 5 yards inside the Chippenham half.
So free kick out to the left. It's back with Smith now in the middle. Short pass to Torre, who's in a central position. Rains out to the left-hand side. Delaney takes a touch and then delivers a nice ball towards Fletcher, but he's glancing ahead it. Didn't have enough on it, and the ball is rolled out for a throw-in on the near side, just a couple of yards from the assistant. A raking ball towards Fletcher, who's been climbed on by Hamilton. The right back for the Bluebirds, and now it's up towards Parsons. He plays a ball into the path of Aguiar in the right channel, but it's easily watched by Wood. He plays it back to Clark in goal. First time clearance up to halfway. And it's the number 6, Will Richards, who wins the header. And City have it, left-hand side. Delaney brings it forward. Another from West Brom. Low ball into the air, a nice turn from Torre, goes down, and the referee says it's no penalty.
That didn't look a bad shade to me at first viewing.
Brilliant turn from Torre. First touch just turned as well as he controlled the ball, and he seemed to get a clip from the defender. And then moved down the right-hand side, rolls over the byline, and it's going to be a goal kick according to the assistant.
I thought that was a corner.
Yeah, it seems to come off the defender last.
Yeah.
And there's shouts from the crowd below us.
I'm astonished. I glanced down to tick my box for a corner. It was just about to say Bath City's first corner. That was very bizarre. That, I mean, you could see it came off the defender because the ball deflected.
And it's picked up by Eddie Jones, right-hand side, brings it forward and then chips a ball down the right wing. Cook trying to get in behind Parcell, and the goalkeeper out of his area, trying to shield it, and Cook's kept it in play with an outstretched right boot, and he's taking on the keeper who's out of his area. Shot comes in from Hollis, blocked inside the 6-yard box. Shouts that it hit the upper arm of Will Richards, and the referee's coming over to talk to the assistant, but I think it's just to make sure that Omar Holness doesn't have too much of a go at him.
Oh, Cook did exceptionally well there, didn't he, to get that ball?
That's right, because the goalkeeper was...
Henry was just trying to shepherd it out, really.
Yeah, he was outside of his area to the right of the...
Well, it will be a corner now. City's first of this half. It's against 3 for Chippenham.
Rains with the corner from the right. Whips in towards the penalty spot. Good jump from Wood, but the header drifts wide of the left post. He's got a bump in the back as well. He's just hobbling as he gets up. There's 5-0 here 3 years ago as Russ goes down under a challenge of Jones, and he's got a free kick as well.
I think this is going to be a curler.
Yeah, steps up, right-footed, and hits the top of the wall. Good block from the men in red and navy shirts. Just chipped back in quite aimlessly. Clark punches it out, but Parsons gets a shot on goal, and it deflects just off target. And Clark was on the edge of his area there. Parsons trying to hit it first time. Good blocking again from Bath City, and they've conceded a corner. His left foot chips it in towards Batten, who's back in the side today, and there's a miscue from the centre-back Richards. Nice turn though from Aguilar, a bit better skill from him. And he tries to slalom past a couple of Bath City defenders. Blocked in the end, and it's hacked away to the centre circle. Hamilton spreads it out to the right-hand side. And now Aguilar tries to dink it in towards the near post. Clark parries it, and it bounces away at the near post. And unfortunately, the red and blue shirts pick it up. Torre met by a strong challenge from Hamilton. So a few fans making their way around for refreshments, trying to beat the queues just before the whistle. Chest down by Cook, and now Fletcher takes the ball onto the right side of the area, and the ball has deflected bizarrely into the back of the Chippenham net. Bath City have the opening goal. The celebrations go to Fletcher. I think the ball pinged around, might have come off the post, hit a defender and gone past the goalkeeper, Will Henry. Bath City, whoever scored that, are 1-0 up.
Well, that was very bizarre. I can't really. I presume it will go down as an own goal, because I think it came off the back of the defender. But hard to work out. It was a good ball put in right along the edge of the touchline. Chippenham player over complaining to the referee. City, what a cracking time to score though, just right on that half-time whistle to go in at the interval 1-0 up. Well, it needed something a little bit bizarre to break the deadlock here. And probably on the balance of play, I think fair to City. They've certainly had most of the play in this first period, and it'll be interesting to see. I would imagine the whistle will go almost as soon as they kick off.
Bath still attacked down the right-hand side. It's Fletcher again, whose delivery caused that confusion for the goal. There was a flick on from Cook, and then Fletcher's delivery from the right side of the box just pinged around. Motor is desperate to get a touch on the ball and claim his only his second goal, as Eddie Jones puts in a strong challenge. He's getting some attention from Joe Hanks as Alfie Santos is on his back. And there's a bit of a ruckus right on the halfway line. Jerry Gill's in there as well, trying to make sure that Joe Hanks keeps away from it.
I don't really understand that, because Jones was the one who was fouled.
Well, yeah, Jones was challenging for the ball. Santos went flying. And then Joe Hanks came over and joined in. So drama at the end of the first half. It looked like it was just drifting to a goalless interval. And Jones does get a yellow card.
Yep, and yes. Tom Smith as well.
Yeah, Hanks, Jones and Smith.
I assume Smith is for piling in afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, Smith was involved in the ruckus.
That's rather surprising that the player that committed the initial offence didn't get a booking. And we're now 49 minutes in a game that up until then had no stoppages.
Free kick taken eventually, and it is Bath City's free kick. So, like you say, Jones was fouled. And the ball almost coming through to Fletcher, keeps it in play, just inside the touchline. He slides it through the keeper's legs at the near post, and it's 2-0 deep in first half stoppage time. Bath City 2, Chippenham Town 0. Alex Fletcher.
Well, Fletcher did exceptionally well there. I thought for a minute the ball was going to go into touch, but it just trickled along the line. And managing to get it in the goal. The crowd absolutely erupting with pleasure here at Trident Park. And somewhat surprisingly, bearing in mind that at 45 minutes it was virtually 0-0, we're suddenly finding Bath City 2-0 up. And we're still playing.
Alex Fletcher with his 8th goal of the season. And just like Cody Cook with the first goal, he did really well just to keep the ball right on the line. keep it in play when Chippenham were expecting it to roll over and out of play. And then it was just perseverance, really. He had no option but to go for goal himself. He was about 3 yards from the near post and just kept it low and hit it as hard as he could, and it squirmed through the legs of Will Henry and rolled over the line for 2-0.
Well, if Jerry Gill has been animated, I have to say Mike Cook has been impassive, and at that point the half-time whistle goes. Cook the first to stride off down the tunnel, while Jerry Gill stands there waiting to both congratulate his players and, I suspect, have something of a word with Mr. Whale, the referee, as he leaves the pitch. City then find themselves 2-0 up.
Rains inside. It's a great overlapping run from Delaney down the left inside. Finds Toure in good a piece of space. He shapes up, looks to shoot from distance, Toure, but he got well underneath it and it flies into the very packed Bath end. It will be Delaney to hurl it up the line towards Cook. Hamilton once again getting forwards ahead of it, and Tom Smith's clearance isn't the best, and it's an awkward bounce to Batten. Parsons trying to jump in behind him, and he was sort of all over the back of Batten before going to the ground, and I think one or two optimistic shouts for a penalty from blue shirts.
Still waiting to find out how large the crowd is this afternoon. The main stand here at Turton Park looking pretty full, and the popular side and behind the Bath goal, very large crowding.
Batten puts away the long ball. Toure running after it with Richards. He takes that ball well in sort of the left-hand side area and comes inside onto his right foot. Joe Rains, 30 yards from goal. He's got his man outside him, Delaney, who's trying to go beyond and get away from Santos. Back to Rains. Rains on his right foot delivers it into the middle, and it's hooked behind, and it so nearly loops into the back of the net. And Spencer Hamilton looking to become the second Chippenham player to have got an own goal there. It just about didn't go in at the back post, and it will be a corner to Bath City.
That looked more destined towards the goal than either of the goals that City have scored. Hamilton just flicking it wide there.
So running up and out swinger with centre-backs forwards as usual. Tom Smith into the middle towards Batten. He gets there, gets up, wins it, and it's just dropped wide of the back post. Felt Will Henry might have been a bit foolhardy in leaving that one, but he got his angles correction. It just goes wide from Jack Batten.
Batten did well to get up to that, didn't he? Head and shoulders above the other players.
And here is Hill playing down the line, trying to get Parsons in behind. Batten gets a foot on it, but it drops back to Chippenham. Aguiar playing in behind. Here's Callum Gunner, tries to run beyond, but it's a great defending from Zach Delaney. Got his body in the way, made sure he wasn't getting past, and puts it out for a throw into Chippenham.
Kadji, who's going to come on for Rains?
Yeah, I must say I have noticed Joe Rains holding his thigh at various points in that first half, so maybe wasn't 100% fit, and it will be, as you say, the 18-year-old Dylan Kadji who comes on to replace him. It's played into the middle, thrown away, but headed beyond by Fletcher. It comes out to Hamilton on the edge of the area, tries to get it through the middle, but it's knocked away. Wood sort of hitting against the shins of Hamilton, who dove in front of the ball, but here comes Delaney down the side. He's a great tackle from Harry Parsons, a recovery challenge from the striker who chased him all the way down the line to his fellow Swindon loanee Ricky Aguiar, but Tom Smith with an equally talented sliding challenge before sort of diving at the feet of the former Worthing midfielder and giving away a free kick. And I think the referee would like to have a word with Tom Smith before this gets taken. Ricky Aguiar into the middle. It's come all the way through, and I think it's come off the head of Richards, but couldn't really get it towards Ryan Clark's goal. And we've just got the attendance through, 2,261 inside Twerton Park today, so an absolutely splendid attendance here as Cody Cook gets the ball on the side, clips into the middle towards Fletcher, who wins the challenge in the air, and I think it was his head, and it will go behind. Referee and linesman disagree, and it will in fact be a corner to Bath City. It will be taken short by Kadji to Toure. They're trying to turn. Here is Kadji trying to come down the side. He's got a few players with him. Aguiar trying to keep Toure in the corner, and the ball's deflected into the middle, and Alex Fletcher, and he couldn't quite get it beyond Will Henry, who this time made his body a good barrier, and it just stopped. Once again, Fletcher nipping in front of the defenders, and a good finish as Parsons trying to run down the line here in towards the Bath City penalty box, but Zach Delaney just had a step on him the whole way. Hill delivering that ball in from the side. It's a good ball in towards the middle of the box. It heads away and has just come back down, and it comes to Aguiar on the edge of the penalty area, who hit it on the full volley, but it hit against the body of Callum Wood, and Bath City can clear it. It's come back to Russ on the halfway line. His ball out towards Hill, tries to get it in there. He does very well there, Hill, and has got the header away from Delaney, but Ryan Clark scampered across and gathered it.
Maidstone winning 2-0. Welling United now 1-0 up against Dulwich.
Cook trying to get the ball in turn down beyond the side. His cross isn't the best. It loops over everyone, but Tom Smith should be able to keep it in. He does, and plays it back to Delaney. Delaney takes his touch and plays it into the middle. And Alex Fletcher's touch gets away from him, and it's scrambled away by Russ. Olu Lawal coming on for Callum Gunner. Delaney now on the left-hand side. It was quickly switched. Tom Smith runs beyond him. Will be overlapped by Delaney. He comes inside though to Torre. Halfway inside the Chippenham half. Plays a quick 1-2. Kaji finds Smith on the edge of the area. Smith trying to find a bit of space. Trying to find a spot for a shot, and it just sort of dragged towards Cody Cook. He flicked it round the corner, and Will Henry was onto it like a flash. This is Kaji tries to challenge with him. Here's Omar Holness. Holness plays back to Delaney. Delaney just in front of the halfway line, plays it in towards the front. Torre gets it on Tom Smith, nutmegs his man. It should come towards Kaji, but it's well intercepted by Hill. Plays it up the line to Jones, who chests it down. On the right-hand side now, Bath City is played on towards Fletcher. Fletcher just stutters a little bit and finds a bit more room, comes away from Lowell. Fletcher still going now, just coming back towards the edge of the area. Kaji skips away from his marker, and Bath City retain possession under a lot of pressure though. Holness plays it across. Wood's got Delaney with him, and he's now got a bit of space to run into. Gets away from Parsons. Delaney plays it in towards Tom Smith, who finds a bit of space, gets away from his man. Tom Smith thinks about shooting, plays it down the line to Fletcher, who's just trying to run away from his man in the box, and he tried to go past one too many, and it comes away, but only as far as Jones. Batten whisks it out towards the left-hand side. Delaney running inside. He's got Torre outside him. Clips it out to Torre. Torre slowing down. A few step-overs, trying to get away from Hamilton. Torre on his left foot up towards Cody Cook. Comes down towards Kaji, but it's cleared away by Santos, and Kaji is adjudged to have fouled him inside the box. Free kick, Chippenham.
I'm not quite sure why the referee... Oh, he's told Bath they can play on, not that they have to play back.
And it's Delaney now running down the left wing. Gets a cross in. It's a dangerous one, and Cook was interested, but it was a good challenge from the captain, Kieran Parcell. Right-footed by Kaji towards the far post, headed out. Interesting that Kaji's allowed a set piece so early in his Bath City career. Torres goes back to goal, and he thought he was being fouled, but it's an offside decision. Quickly taken by Will Henry, the Chippenham goalkeeper, down the left-hand side. Parsons looking to get it under control. He's found a teammate in Aguiar, who seems to be moving okay after the stoppage a few minutes ago. The cards have come out again, and there's going to be a caution for Omar Holness for the challenge on Harry Parsons. 3 blue shirts around him. Of course, Chippenham in their home kit as Bath City play here at home in the away kit. As a 2-footed tackle comes in from Torre, and then a third outstretched leg from the wide man, and he's going to get himself a yellow card as well.
Yes, I think that one probably justified. Toure definitely reacted there.
One ball pumped towards the edge of the Bath City box. Holness jumps with Aguiar, and Hamilton gets involved as well. Still not clear, and Chippenham have got it with Lowell, and has a shot from outside the box, and it just sort of shapes away from goal. The referee thought there was a deflection on it, but Batten was recovered from a back problem. Dyer going back to Exeter on loan as the corner's cleared away. Aguiar heads it back into the danger zone. It's dropped, but Bath City scrambling to get the ball clear once more. Chip back in, flick. Kaji's there as well. Another shot from Hanks, that's blocked. And it's back with Holness, who plays it long towards Torre. It's a poor header that gives it to Torre on the Bath left, and he skips away from the challenge of Hanks. He's got options left and right, and Torre caught from behind by Hamilton. That's going to be a free kick, not far away from the edge of the Chippenham area, just on the left. Torre still in a heap. On ball looking for Hamilton down the right hand side. The right back plays the ball against the body. Delaney gets free, pulls it back, and there's a spin inside the area, and the referee has given
nothing.
Well, he had his left arm out. So given a throw in. Just over 8 minutes to go.
Motori making one of those Yogi Bear leaves of the pitch where the legs go round, but there's no forward motion.
Here comes Freer.
Very different today. City looking very comfortable and accomplished.
Trots on the ball and Holness feeds it out to Fletcher, right side, brings it in onto his left foot. Shot comes in, he just gets underneath it. Not sure if there was a bobble, because there's a pillar right in the way.
Substitution for Chippenham time in the 85th minute, leaving the field number 7, Alfie Santos.
So one wide player placed by another. It's going to be Hanks, I think, in the continuing gloom. Cross from the left is met by a punch from Clark. Doesn't really get much on it, goes straight up in the air, and there's a scramble, and enough Bath City red legs were there to block it. Good defending. And the ball just went up into the air and dropped into a melee. Bath City managed to clear it, and there's a foul now on Lowell. Just on the left corner of the penalty area. So it could be an opportunity for Aguiar to cause some trouble. Here comes Aguiar for Chippenham. Goes for goal, and it's straight at Clark in the centre of the goal mouth. No real trouble for him.
It's going to be Alex Fletcher going off. Run down the right-hand side, his last move of the afternoon, and I think most people would say he got the goal and had a pretty good match.
Yeah, he made the first one really. That was his cross, wasn't it, after Cody Cook's good work. His delivery from the right. Ricocheted in, apparently off Will Richards of Chippenham. Tom Richards enters the fray, his namesake. Chippenham with an aimless ball forward, dealt with by Wood. He's just exchanging long balls. Kaji gets the ball under control just inside the Chippenham half on the right. Shows good strength again for a teenager. Flying challenge in on Lowell. Concedes a throw, does get some of the ball. And the Bluebirds send blue shirts forward. They've continued with their 4-4-2 diamond. Aguiar is the front point of the diamond in that number 10 role. He's taking this free kick. Moves it in towards the penalty spot, and an easy one for Clark, although he almost makes a mess of it. Got two hands on the ball initially. It wasn't too high.
Which is not what City would have wanted, a free kick right on the edge of the 18-yard box.
A moment of horror. I'm on the edge of the area.
Well, we continue playing. 49 minutes gone in the second period. So by my count, I would reckon about 50 seconds more of this game to go.
Number 6,
Callum Wood, the centre-back, getting a nod for man of the match this afternoon. And there is the final whistle, you're right. 5 added minutes was all that was played, and Bath City see out the second half in some comfort to win the A4 derby for the second time in a week, having done the job 4-1 at Harden Hughes Park on Boxing Day. They've now won it the day after New Year's Day here in 2022. The first game of the year, winning 2-0 with an own goal in first half added time. It was eventually credited to Will Richards after it took a strange deflection from an Alex Fletcher cross. He managed to keep the ball in on the byline and then went in off the post. And then a second goal, Fletcher scored from an almost impossible angle, squeezing it in at the near post beyond the keeper, Will Henry. And that really finished off Chippenham. They could not recover in the second half. And, in the end, quite a comfortable 2-0 victory. It's a 5th win over Chippenham in the last 6 meetings. And becoming a bit of a bogey side for the Bluebirds.
Joe, what did you make of that game?
Well, I think, I don't know, maybe Bath City were expecting Chippenham to push a lot harder than they did. They just seemed incredibly shell-shocked second half, really, after everything that happened at the end of the first half, and they never really got going. You know, I think Aguiar was pretty key to them in the first half, and he looked a bit, he looked like the game had got to him a little bit in the second half. He wasn't as dynamic. His crossing wasn't up to the same level as it had been, and they just never really carved anything out. I can't really remember Ryan Clark having a great deal to do, and I think from a Bath City perspective, defensively that shows they've been very strong, because Chippenham are a team who can score a few goals.
And I think surprisingly, I mean, Harry Parsons, who's been really good for them, and I know you're a fan, I mean, he was really just cancelled out of the game in the second period, wasn't he?
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's almost the entire reason Callum Wood was given man of the match. I thought he was absolutely outstanding today. He got absolutely nothing. Parsons couldn't get anything out of him. I think the one time, Wood was sort of caught up the field a little bit. Parsons put Bratton under a lot of pressure and he had to put the ball out of play. But yeah, it was a quiet afternoon for him. So, he got off to an early start, had a couple of shots, but he, second half, Bath City defensively made it so he wasn't a feature. And I think it was the same really for Alefe Santos. He didn't really get much going second half either. So defensively, that was a really strong performance from Bath City. And when you're in that sort of situation, you've got to be pleased with the way that they handled that second half.
Well, on that note, thank you very much for listening to us this afternoon. We've had a great time here at Twerton Park. Bath City running out 2-0 against local rivals Chippenham Town. Those 2 goals coming right at the end of the first half. An own goal by Will Richards of Chippenham, the player that Bath City turned down at the start of the season. And then just a couple of minutes later, Fletcher getting the second and the decisive goal. Bath City Radio has been with you throughout the afternoon. Do join us next Saturday for the next fixture. But in the meantime, we wish you all a happy new year.